All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bracket Placement 101. We are going to start with a case that is in the shallow end of the pool. It's really about as easy as it can be. And this is Fiona. She is a class 1 minor crowding case. Actually, she's a little bit class 2, kind of an end on class 2 at the cuspid. She actually had a little phase 1 treatment done, and now, in fact, those were done with some aligners. But she didn't do such a good job of that, so she's back for phase 2, and she's going to be wearing braces. So first of all, let's talk armamentarium. Whenever we sit down to do indirect bonding, I like to have, of course, the triple tool, and this is going to help us with our bracket placement. We do some bracket placement gauges here. And we've got one that goes all the way from 3.5 to 5. Our next goes from 5.5 to 7, so we can do the whole range from 3.5 to 7. They also use a little, I like to have just a little adhesive on hand, and along with a little toothpick, just in case we need to do something that's called a composite wedge, or if we need a little more composite there. And then just a little bracket holding tweezer there. Okay, so let's get started here, and I'm going to get my camera situated so that hopefully we can see what's happening here. So she was a little bit deep bite, and once again, let's just remember that her lower interior, her lower incisors, she's got a little bit of a curve of speed there, so that's we're going to be correcting that in order to open up that deep bite. We really like her incisal display, both in repose and on full smile. We like her smile arc, so we really aren't going to change that much. We want to protect that smile arc. Okay, so let's start here on the lower. And as I've mentioned in some of my lectures, one of the keys, when you're considering these braces, is the fact that it's really the lower 5 where we're going to have the most trouble getting it really gingival enough. Okay. So if we're going to measure this lower 5, I've got it right at 4.5 millimeters. So it should just be kind of a gradual, kind of a graduation from that. So that means that this molar ought to be somewhere around 4.0. That means that this first premolar should be about 5 millimeters here, and it is. And then our cuspid should be about 5.5, okay, which it actually might be a little, might need to come down just a smidge there on that cuspid. Okay, but she's a deep bite case, all right? So anytime a case is deep bite, I want to try to cheat as much as we can, and if at all possible, maybe we take that first premolar in particular and see if we can't just bring it gingival just a little bit, and that's going to extrude the premolar, which then has the effect of intruding the cuspid and the incisors here. Okay, so on a cuspid that what do we say? This is 4.5. This is 5. So these lower incisors should be 4.5. Right, and they could come down just a little bit there. Okay, so that is it. We're just going to simply get these lower incisors all set at 4.5, and then we're going to look from the occlusal, because there's a couple of little tricks that we employ here. One of them is we like to cheat towards the mesial just a little bit on our lower 2s. So the central is centered, the central is centered, but these lower 2s, the left 2 is cheated towards the mesial, the right lower 2 is cheated towards the mesial. Okay, and then back over here, sometimes we'll cheat this cuspid just a smidge to the mesial. We like this premolar is about as mesial as we can possibly get it. We like to have, because the tooth is rotated obviously there, so we're trying to just keep that guy centered with the with the marginal ridge of that first buy. And of course our second buy, we should also be centered. Now, we look at our marginal ridges here, we're really pretty flush here between the 5 and the 6, and we see a significant step between the 5 and the 4. So when we come over here and we look from the facial, we should see a passive wire going through those bracket slots between the 5 and the 6. Okay, and those guys should be pretty passive there. And we can kind of do a little bit of tweaking there just to make sure that we don't lose that really nice marginal ridge relationship that we have. We've got a passive wire going through there now. And we should see a little step now between the the bracket slot on the 5 and the bracket slot on the 4. The 4 should be more gingival, and it is. You can see that this 4 is going to need to extrude, and when it extrudes and rotates, then these marginal ridges here between the 5 and the 4 are going to be level with each other. All right, so that is the lower arch, folks, and just for completion's sake, let's go ahead and measure these guys over here. What do we say? 4 millimeters on the 5. We're going to go 4.5 on the 4. Okay, bring that down. And we're going 5 on the cuspid here. Excuse me. All right. And then if at all we can, we are just going to bring this first bite down just a little bit, if we can, just to cheat it. And it looks like that's about as far as we can possibly go. We can't really get it more gingival. We'd love to get it just a smidge more gingival, but that's about it. All right, and so here, once again, we've got really nice flush marginal ridges between the 4 and 5, and yet we have a step between the, between the 5 and the 6, these are flush. And then between the 4 and 5, we have a step, so we definitely would like for this premolar bracket to be more gingival than the second premolar bracket. And there's not quite as much step as I would like there. I would actually like to have it more gingival. All right, so this is actually a good place for us to hit pause, and I'm going to show you how we can get this bracket more gingival using something that's called a composite wedge. All right, I'm going to take this bracket off. We're going to add some more material here to the distal, and we're going to bring this bracket down because I still have the gingival margins down here. So I know I can bring this bracket down. I just simply don't have the room to bring it down proximally, because I'm gonna lose my rotation when I do that. Okay, so we're gonna hit pause.